Schon nach einer Runde haben sich im 800-Meter-Lauf der Frauen die Fronten geklärt. Jarmila Kratochvílová, die Spezialistin über 400 Meter, liegt ganz klar in Führung. Petra Kleinbram hat sich für das Tempo geopfert auf den ersten 400 Metern. Fällt jetzt zurück, liegt im Moment noch an zweiter Stelle, wird im Moment passiert von Margrit Klinger aus Obersuhl und in deren Schlepp Jolanta Januchta aus Polen. Ein Riesenvorsprung für Jarmila Kratochvílová. Und das scheint auch eine hervorragende Zeit zu werden. Ja, gibt's denn das? Da ist jeglicher Kontakt zur Konkurrenz abgerissen. 50 Meter, vielleicht mögen es 60 Meter sein, die sie Vorsprung hat. Na, da bin ich mal gespannt, was das für eine Zeit werden wird. Sie werden es nicht glauben, meine Damen und Herren. Ich sage es ganz knapp, Weltrekord. Weltrekord. Darauf hat sie lange warten müssen. Immer stand sie über 400 Meter im Schatten einer Frau, Marita Koch, die sozusagen immer 3 Schritte schneller gewesen ist als sie. Und wir haben heute schon ein bisschen rumgerätselt, warum diese Jarmila Kratochvílová auf die 800 Meter ausweicht. Eigentlich konnten wir uns das nicht als ein Vorbereitungsrennen für die Weltmeisterschaften erklären, wenn sie dort über 400 Meter startet. Aber jetzt wissen wir, was sie vorhatte. Sie wollte Weltrekord laufen, aber gesagt hat sie es niemand. Aber gemerkt haben wir es, na, sagen wir mal, 600 Meter vor dem Ziel. Und spätestens hier, als sie 100 Meter noch zu laufen hatte und der Kontakt zur übrigen Konkurrenz völlig abgerissen war, als sie sich 50, 60 Meter Vorsprung erlaufen hatte, als man die Zeit, die sie erzielen konnte, überhaupt nicht mehr einordnen konnte, da wusste man schon, hier passiert Außergewöhnliches. Kraftvoll ihr Lauf. Manche werden vielleicht zu sagen, das ist mir zu kraftvoll. Aber wenn man einen Weltrekord erzielt hat, dann zählt nachher nur noch dieser Rekord. Und in der Geschichte der Leichtathletik wird auch niemand mehr danach fragen, wer diese Frau in Persona gewesen ist. Sie heißt Jarmila Kratochvílová und hat mit 1 Minute 52, mit 1 Minute 53,28 Sekunden den Weltrekord der Sowjetrussin Nadezhda Olisarenko um genau 14 Hundertstel verbessert. Jarmila Kratochvílová aus der Tschechoslowakei.
The sleepy Bohemian town of Czechoslovakia is not a place that one would associate with the fast lane. But that's exactly where one would find their most famous resident. Jarmila Kratochvílová is Czechoslovakia's greatest female runner. A double world champion, she also set 2 world records, one of which still stands today, some 12 years after she set it. She's now 44 and runs an athletic training program, which specializes, as she did, in the 400 and 800 meters.
I've worked and trained here in Czechoslovakia all my life. Today we have 2 female European junior champions, plus athletes who've participated in this year's World Championships.
The track season may have come to an end, but for those committed to producing the next wave of champions, pupils from the local junior school still have to be put through their paces. For regular students starting their winter training, the presence of Kratochvílová is a great boost.
Jarmila is absolutely fabulous. I am pleased that I'm with her, as I would not want another trainer.
I train with her because I think she's the best trainer in the Czech Republic and because of her achievements at world level.
I think that she's among the best trainers in the world, and that's why I came here to work with her. I think she'll help me be a success.
Everyone's dream is to emulate Kratochvílová, who set 24 Czech records over 4 distances ranging from 100 to 800 meters. And unlike other Eastern European athletes, Kratochvílová did not have the help of a state-run production line to develop her talent.
I started athletics at a time when there were no sports schools or sports classes. All this happened in Czechoslovakia later. I came from a non-sport family, so there was nobody to force me or to encourage me to participate in something as pleasurable as athletics.
It didn't turn out to be so pleasurable for the self-confessed country girl. Coach Miroslav Kasic's punishing schedule meant that she trained 7 hours a day, committing her life totally to the cause. Family life and holidays, even Christmas, were out of the question. It helped her to dominate the domestic scene, and she finally made a belated breakthrough onto the international tracks at the age of 30. But with one of the greatest 400-metre runners of all time, East Germany's Marita Koch, blocking her path, the prospect of success seemed far away.
At the beginning, I never thought of it, because Marita's running time seemed to me almost like a small miracle. I could not imagine that a woman could run the 400 metres so fast. So I more or less just watched her from a distance. And I was almost too frightened to get near her, because I convinced myself that she was such a great competitor.
Koch's dominance was such that nobody could get within half a second of her over 400 metres. In all, the East German won 26 major titles and claimed 16 world records. From 1977 until 1980, she was invincible. In the Olympic 400 metres final in Moscow, Kratochvílová didn't exactly breathe down her neck, but it did signal a personal breakthrough for the Czech as she claimed her first major championship medal. She just held off another East German, Christine Bremer-Lathan, for silver. She was now the second-best 400-metre runner in the world. As her confidence grew, she was able to put an end to her great rival's winning streak.
Right up to the World Cup in Rome when I won, I only then managed to understand that even this great competitor could be overcome. And also later, when I broke the world record, I still said Marita is the best. And thanks to her, I gained the motivation to work hard.
Kratochvílová continued to push her body to the limits in training, determined to consolidate her victory over the German. All manner of techniques were employed to get her into the best possible condition for the 1983 World Championships to be held in Finland. She also stepped up to 800 metres to give her more stamina in the 400. Remarkably, over the longer distance at a meet in Munich, she ran away from a top-class field to break the world record by 0.15 of a second. 1 month later, the inaugural World Championships were held in Helsinki. The event's timetable allowed Kratochvílová to compete at both distances, although it was far from easy. Just 35 minutes after winning the 400-metre semi, she took part in the 800-metre final. The Soviets supplied the main threat, with Lyubov Gorina pushing Kratochvílová all the way. She sprinted clear down the home straight to take the 800-metre title in yet another awesome display of controlled running. Koch had committed herself to running in the shorter sprints, and so it was left to Jarmila's compatriot Tatiana Kotzembova to challenge her in the 400-metre final the next day. If Kratochvílová could win, then she would join the great Cuban runner Alberto Juantorena in the record books as the only athlete to win both 400 and 800 golds in a major championships. Although Kotzembova battled gamely, she was no Marita Koch, and Kratochvílová cruised to the title. She also claimed her second world record in 2 weeks, becoming the first woman to break the magical 48-second barrier.
I had never stood on the highest step at the big meets, because Marita Koch always won, so they always played the anthem of the old GDR. I always stood on the bottom step, so I was very motivated. I wanted to stand on the highest step to hear our anthem. So with 3 medals from the World Championships and 1 world record, I couldn't have asked for more.
After 2 recitals in Helsinki, the Czech anthem was not played for Jarmila at the Los Angeles Olympics because of the Soviet-led boycott. Aged 33 and with Seoul another 4 years away, her last chance to win Olympic gold had gone. Kratochvílová retired to take up coaching and continues to work hard to find a worthy successor to her crown. But political change in her homeland has turned sport upside down. Funding is a constant headache. At this year's Indoor World Championships, her protégée, teenage 400-metre runner Hanna Bedesova, did compete. And while she remains optimistic, every day Kratochvílová realises just how hard an act she is to follow.
I am trying to make Bedesova into a new Kratochvílová. Of course, I know that the competitors who train are young and that times are different now, and not so suited to a life of training as they were for us. It seems almost that there is too much democracy for some, and it stops them training with the right amount of dedication, and that is what a great runner requires.